G'day guys, Jackson Milan the Wealth Mentor. I hope you're doing well. So, I'm going to go on a little bit of a mission today. We have an inlet and some waterfalls up the back of the property. We went there briefly when we were doing our first inspection here. But since then we've been so busy with other shit, we haven't really been up here. So I'm keen to have a look. I just want to check on a couple of things. We've got thousands of acres of forest. I'm just checking the water levels. The water is full. So there is an inlet all the way back here. Let me just get out of the sun. And this is obviously where the cassowaries live. This is the path that they come down every day. Let me just show you. I'll turn this around. So you can see it's pretty dense forest. We have this pipe which runs all of our water, and basically when we come down here, if we follow this, as you can see there's some big trees that have fallen, and I'm interested to see how high the water is. I can't really hear a lot of water because it's very dry at the moment. Give me a little bit of water. This was much higher previously. As you can see, our water goes across there, up there, and then into an inlet over there. So I'm just going to go for a little bit of a wander. Now, this was previously a triple waterfall last time we come. There was a waterfall there, there was a waterfall coming down there, and there was also a waterfall coming down there. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to jump over there and I'm going to go see where the inlet is and see how low or high it is. I actually haven't been this far, so I'm just going to go for a little bit of a wander and make sure I don't kill myself. I'm going to jump up here. Our plan was, because we caught up with the neighbours who've been living here for 45 years, and they're in their kind of, I think, late 70s, early 80s. Really lovely couple. And they actually still go up all the way up the mountain. There's actually a gorge up there with a creek that runs through the top of the mountain, about 600 meters elevation. And they still go up there and camp. They're botanists, and they go and look for rare plants and flora and fauna. So yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. So our plan is we've got some friends that are coming up soon. So maybe we'll go and do a big hike up there and see what we can find. Hopefully we don't run into families of cassowaries. So we've got this loops around, and I can hear some water. You can see another little waterfall here. Let me just flip this around so I can show you. This is just gorgeous. Look at this. And look how high the canopy goes. So I'm going to go up that way and try not to die. Yeah, we've got thousands of acres of forest, and I just need to make sure I don't kill myself. Yeah, in my pluggers. Oh, cool. Okay, awesome, interesting. Wow. Just look at this. It's just gorgeous, picturesque. So I can see this being a great little picnic, chill out spot. And this is all ours. So this is our water inlet. I'm just going to cruise over there. And basically, it's just a very, very basic. It is just some piping. It's been submerged over there. It's obviously getting a little bit low. But it's still flowing, as you can see. We haven't had much rain though. So it's amazing. I'm interested to see. I'm going to continue to follow this up. There's other irrigation hose up here. This is literally, you could film a movie here. And there's spiders and full of spiders. I haven't seen any snakes yet. The neighbours said there's a lot of pythons. However, I haven't seen them. Now let me get a bit up further up. And how the cassowaries make their way through all of this is just amazing. Because it's like the elevation is like pretty high. I don't know if they clamber up rocks like I'm doing right now. You can see the sun coming through here, and this just continues to go up. Goes all the way up there. So cool. Wow, you could just spend days exploring this and still never see everything. And imagine this after a rain. Obviously all of this is covered in moss. It's all dry now. But after a rain, this would fill all of this. Like the neighbours were saying, there've been some years where there's been 7 meters of rain. And there's something up there. How do I get there is the question without stacking. I'm just going arse over. There's another beautiful waterfall up there. This is just beautiful. So peaceful. I think being surrounded in environments like this, like how can you not be at peace and feel relaxed and re-energized, you know what I mean? It's so revitalizing. And how more people don't do this kind of thing just is beyond me. Just be able to look around and see how nature's made its path, and over millions of years it's altered and changed this landscape. And to see just how in a forest like this, how everything can thrive and in this kind of symbiotic relationship, and to see, like, look at this, let me flip this around. Trees like this that are just sprawling out over rocks and finding their way down into the water. It's just amazing. I was chatting to a masterclass group the other week around the importance of actually taking the time to stop and reflect. It's something that most people just don't do often enough. Sit down, give yourself the space, create a repeatable format where you can continually measure, using the same questions, how the outcomes shift and change. Because all of us, we're just comparing apples and oranges. Like apples and oranges and pears and pineapples. It's just, we're all over the place, and it's about creating a consistent and simple framework to reevaluate and review and reflect on your life and your business and the results and outcomes that you create. And I use this framework of these questions, these 5 questions. What would you like? What will having that do for you? When, where, and with whom do you want it? How will you know once you have it? And once you have it, what might you lose that you value? And then, with all of that being considered, now what would you like? It's one of the frameworks that has helped me create that annual roadmap exercise, that has allowed me to shift my own behaviors and habits, the way that I've gone about my life. And for a very long time, I went about it the wrong way. And being through creating these frameworks that work for me, being able to turn that all around. And I've always been really good at manifesting things. Putting my mind to something and making it happen. And one of the things I've always been really bad at is deferring gratification. Waiting. Fucking hate waiting for shit. I want everything yesterday. And I don't want it to think about it. I just want it done. And I look back on like the last 12 months. We went through the first lockdown and I was overworked. I was burning out because I was just bored and trying to keep myself occupied. We come up with the idea to do the year traveling around Australia. We bought the Troopy, we fitted it out, we got everything done. We were supposed to leave in the 1st of January, but we ended up leaving at the 1st of April. There was a bit of a delay, but we made it happen. Like it happened. We spent 9 months on the road and we loved it. It was amazing. We had amazing experiences. We were leading by example. We were showing that we could create this lifestyle business with the intention of coming back to acreage and finding a beautiful place for us to settle down at, where we could have animals and we could have this type of environment. And I set my non-negotiables, or Anna and I did. We want something that has sweeping hills and surrounded by forest and has access to water and has more than 40 acres and has a beautiful, either a stone home or a pole home that's timeless. We want something that's close to the shops and no longer than an hour to the airport. And not only did we get all of those things, we got them faster than what we'd expected. And here we are reflecting, like we're 3 weeks in, post-settlement. We've been able to get our dream home. We're surrounded by this beautiful environment with wildlife surrounding us and millions of years of forest, World Heritage listed forest, with endangered birds and all of this stuff around us. And on top of all of that, we've been able to build this amazing business, and everything that I could have ever wanted is either happened or in the process of happening. And that's a really cool position to be in. It's an interesting position. And I'm going to start walking. The interesting position is that can be a double-edged sword. It can be a blessing and it can be a curse. In the past, the way that I used to operate, I would have had a lot of self-limiting beliefs and self-destructive behaviors where I would have self-sabotaged and ruined a lot of the good things that I'd done. And I talk about this a lot, that the situations we learn to survive, our survival can ultimately depend upon. If you've spent your life getting yourself out of shitty situations, getting yourself into shitty situations and hustling your way out of it, finding yourself short of money and finding ways to make it, and having unexpected bills and finding ways to pay them, and for me, spending my money on stupid shit. I think back on all of the cars and motorcycles that I've had over the years. I fucking lost count. I had a Mazda RX-7. I had a Yamaha XVS 650 that I did up in as a bobber. I had a Harley Davidson Sportster bobber chopper. I had a 1971 Harley Davidson Sportster XLC XLH. I imported another 70, I think it was a 73 XLCH from the States. I got a 1950s XLCH. I had a BSA Bantam. I had a Yamaha Virgo. I had this fucking trike that's been an absolute nightmare. I thought I was actually going to make money on that one, and it's turned into a fucking money pit. Just spent money on so many stupid things. And then I realised that all of this has stemmed from a couple of things. Only recently I've discovered that I've had ADHD. I need to go get the formal test, but it's indisputable that I have it, 100%. And I don't want to use it as an excuse. It is what it is. I think it's a superpower, but knowing how to leverage it as a superpower is critical, right? And I got stuck on something. But for my entire life, for a very, very long time, it's been a thorn in my side. It's been debilitating. It has forced me to never want to defer gratification for anything, and always want everything now, never wanting to wait for it. And as soon as I have money, I want to spend it. I infatuate myself with new hobbies and interests and things that are exciting, and I can focus my 100% attention on becoming an expert and learning everything there is to know and getting all of the best gear and basically setting myself up for being a fucking professional, whatever it is. Like I've done it my entire life with Warhammer, and I did it with instruments and just all of these fucking things. And then something happens. Normally there's a gap in the activity or the hobby or whatever. I go on holidays, or I get sick and I can't get to lessons, or something happens. And then I lose complete interest in that thing after spending thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And it just rinses and repeats again. And I did that for years. And look, to a smaller degree, I've definitely learned to control it. And what I've learned to do is come up with ways to keep myself occupied, or to prevent myself from making that decision immediately. So let's say, for example, if I need to make a decision on something that's a really big ticket thing, like, let me give you an example. I nearly bought a herd of goats before we even moved into the house. And I said to the guy, and I'm like, hey, I'm really keen to buy these goats. It's fucking 7 goats. We don't have fences properly. We don't have anything. And I'm like, fuck it, we'll work it out. And in order to protect myself from fucking diving straight into it, I'm like, hey, cool. So look, I need to book a time to come out and see them. I'm going to book it for like 2 weeks' time. And because I was able to defer it, within that 2 weeks, I lost interest. And I didn't end up going ahead with it. I ended up cancelling, saying, sorry, dude, busy. You're not going to be able to go ahead. So that was a way of kind of like tricking my own brain into not impulse buying goats. So I've done that with a lot of things. In the business, I've done that with setting up a project board. So instead of like just YOLOing my way into activities or projects or new shiny objects of things that are occurring in the business, and just end up spinning 50 bazillion plates and getting shit done, but just being either overwhelmed or overworked, or not finishing it, getting it to 50% and then getting bored. We created a project board system. So I have an idea. I go, cool, it has to go on the project board. I then have a team around me, a leadership team and a management team who are really, really smart individuals and kind of know how I operate, understand my superpowers and also my weaknesses. And now I am at the top of one of my waterfalls. And they go on the allocation board. We have 4 times a year that we meet and we decide on the projects that are getting allocated that quarter. We vote on it, so it has to be a 75% or more agreement for the project to go ahead. If it doesn't go ahead, it stays on the allocation board. And it doesn't mean we scrap it, it just means it's a not right now thing. And then we meet weekly to push those projects forwards. And if I have a crazy idea, or anyone has a crazy habit, primarily me, that is out of cycle, I need to pitch the idea to the board and I need to explain why we're doing it, why I believe we have the resources to fulfill on it, what benefit, and I just nearly run into a spider's web. Fuck you, spider. What benefit it has to the business. And then I need to get 100% unanimous vote in order to proceed with it. And if I don't, we don't do it. So I've set up systems to protect myself from myself. I only developed an understanding of all of these things and learning my own internal operating system and my communication rhythm, my decision-making rhythm, through putting it to the test and giving myself the space to evaluate. What's worked well, what hasn't, how can I do better, what do I really want? Look at this fuck off tree. It's huge. So, why am I telling you this? Well, as I'm going for my hop, skip and a jump through my jungle, I'm taking this time to reflect on my journey to date. And to be fair, I'm kind of going through this process as I'm kind of sounding this out to you guys. And I see so many people who lack these operating rhythms, who lack these pulse checks, who end up spinning the wheels and dragging their heels, rhymes, and achieving lackluster results in their life and in their business. And it's fucking frustrating. So, whether that be as a result of you having an internal issue with your operating system, like for me, ADHD, big issue for a long time, shit at school, chase shiny objects for the majority of my teen life and kind of childhood and even early adult life. Wasted a fuck ton of money chasing stupid shit because I was incapable of deferring gratification, to understanding how to overcome that and implement some great strategies. Or whether it be in the business, where you don't know what you don't know. You're chasing the wrong things for the wrong reasons at the wrong time, and you're getting the wrong results, or you're not getting any results. And all of this comes down to a simple practice of reflection. Set time aside each and every single month, quarter, year to create a reflection rhythm. Okay, let's review my year. What have I achieved this year? What are my biggest achievements in life, in business, in finance, in relationships? What didn't I achieve? What did I fall short of? What are the things that I wish I did better? Why did that happen? Why did I achieve those great things? And why did those shit things happen? And then how can I create a forward-facing plan with what I know now to make sure that I can amplify the good things, I can minimize the likelihood of the bad things, and I can just achieve more? It's pretty simple, right? So this is the process I go through. Works wonders for me. Took me from the verge of bankruptcy to creating a $5 million business and ultimately a multi-7-figure net worth, and being able to create a lifestyle business that has allowed me to create financial freedom now. And I do work that I really enjoy. In an environment that I really enjoy it. So hopefully you can take some of this, what I've said, you can implement it yourself. You can control yourself, your inner game, your own individual operating system. You can control your external operating system, the way that you operate your business and your finances and these kinds of things. And then ultimately, your environmental operating system of the environments that you place yourself in, which are breeding and inspiring the appropriate outcomes as a result of your environment, because your environment very much manifests the quality of your outcomes. This is why I'm here. So hope this has been inspiring. Maybe it was a ramble. Maybe you were distracted by me scouring through the forest. But hopefully there's some words of wisdom that you can take from this. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Take care.